It's like this little dirty little bass line.
I don't fucking care. Can we move on to a new segment, please?
Welcome to Just Two Fans, a sports show about sports,
Obviously.
about life,
Because sports are life.
and about just whatever the hell we feel like talking about. So, let's go.
Is up, brother.
Special teams, special players, Tuesday. Oh, God, I can't believe I just did that.
That's what I was hoping for. What's
Oh,
up, guys? It's the Just Two Fans podcast. We're back.
Yeah, man, we are. Do you want to introduce us?
Yeah, I'm Jamie Friedlander. That's Eli Johnson.
That's me.
And super producer Cam.
Say
Say
hi,
hi,
Cam.
Cameron.
Hi, Cameron.
It's been a while, dude. We got to get back in the
Yeah, we got a
swing of
lot of
things.
stuff to go over right now.
lot of stuff to go
A lot
over.
of stuff to get like reintroduced to, you know?
And then I changed everything 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, you
Literally
did do that.
everything.
You did. We're trying out something new. And I mean, so far,
Knock on wood.
I mean, doesn't seem too bad. Seems
And I
like
mean,
we're-
realistically, if like audio and video don't match up, just close your eyes. It's a podcast. Like,
Yeah, just close your eyes.
close
Whatever,
your
not
eyes.
a big deal. Listen to
Is that
these
what's
dulcet
happening?
tones.
Do we know?
I don't know.
I don't know. I
Helmet
haven't-
hasn't texted me yet, so we might be in the clear.
That's good. That means we're good.
Gonna
When
rely
we're not
on
getting
that
the angry
helmet
text.
Yeah.
You guys suck.
Hey, you fucking idiots. Figure it out.
How do you not figure this out?
Anyway, Eli, it's been like 2 months since you did this show.
Dude, I know. Like I went to a whole ass other country since the last time I was on the show.
You
Which
still
was-
have a girlfriend?
I do. Yep. Tricked her this long. So, you know, almost got to
Pretty
the point where
incredible.
like maybe she's brainwashed enough to stay with me, you know?
I mean, it's amazing you brainwashed her enough to get with you in the first place.
Trust me, brother. I know. Trust me, brother.
I know, brother. Sketch. So good.
Yeah, he was pretty good. I like how he announced a draft pick. Like the dude
Announced
went
a
from a
draft pick.
nobody in like a year to being like the biggest streamer on the planet. It's crazy.
And did you notice that? So who he announced was a Buckeye, and they were in Detroit, and people started booing the pick. Did you see like his reaction at the end when they were booing? Because he like didn't know what to do because he thought they were booing him.
Oh,
He's like,
jeez.
oh shit,
Poor
It's
guy.
pretty good. Yeah,
Poor guy.
that was pretty good though. All right, we will get to the draft. We got a lot to catch up on. We've missed some things.
Yeah, it turns out when you miss a month or two, there's
You missed some stuff.
you miss some stuff. You know, you
We're
just
s-
miss things and stuff.
We're not going to touch on everything because that's like way too much. We're just going to touch on the big stuff. And then, of course, because it's this show, we're going to talk about college football because that's what we do. We talk about college football.
There's no episode of the show where we will ever not talk about college football.
I think you can pretty much almost take that one to the bank.
We might have done it in the past. No longer, friends.
Yeah, I mean, like in those early episodes. Well, first of all, in the early episodes, there were no sports. Remember, we started this show, a sports podcast, in the only period in like the last 90 years that there were no sports happening.
Yeah,
Because
I
we're
think
just
like
that fucking smart.
we're geniuses is what we are. We got in when the getting was bad, right? And we've built this empire when the getting is still like getting weird, you know. The getting's getting, and we're getting
getting is
the
getting.
gettings for the gettings while they're good or bad.
What is happening right now?
I don't know. I'm drunk.
With Crab Rangoons.
With crab I did. Oh my god. The lady and I, we had some Thai food tonight, and I just fully fully housed of like a crab rangoon.
That was literally like the last thing Eli said before we got on here. It's like, I housed that.
No,
like-
I did, dude. A full order of crab rangoon and a full pad thai spicy. And you know what? No regrets. I might regret it tonight, but as of now, we're still good.
On the chat, remember when you guys had a sock sponsorship?
I do remember that. Remember how those guys
Grover
sucked?
did.
Remember how I like talked shit
Oh,
about
they
them
were
ever
so
since we
bad.
stopped? They never got back to us on anything. I don't know if they actually ever paid us for that. We just got a pair of socks.
One pair. They were supposed to send us 2 pair, and we got one.
They were supposed
pair.
to send us 2 pair each.
Yeah,
and then they
you
didn't
got
do
1
that.
pair.
I still have those socks as well. Like I got little orcas, little orca socks.
I got little penguins in my subscription.
Nice.
I was trying to be a man of the podcast.
I appreciate that, man.
that.
Yeah. Did you use our code?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Wish we would have gotten any money from that.
I'll give you like the 80 cents you missed out on from me buying socks.
Okay.
All right, cool.
I appreciate that.
It's around here
Sweet.
somewhere.
Just Venmo me.
No,
Sure,
I'll
dude,
mail
Venmo.
it to. I'll mail it to you, but I'm gonna backcharge you for the
Snail mail
stamp.
Cameron, do you remember when we were in a Venmo battle over like 10 cents?
Yeah,
We sent 10 cents back and forth like, I don't know, like 20 times.
for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Like someone would wait until like 2:30 in the morning
Yeah.
and like send that 10 cents back.
That was good. That was good. All right, let's talk about some sports. We're going to start with super producer Cam's.
You son of a
wheelhouse.
bitch. He just Venmo requested me for 80 cents. Fine.
You son of a bitch. You told me to get it to me.
You did. You did say that.
You promised. You promised.
All right, Cameron, we're starting in your wheelhouse.
Okay.
Formula One. Up until Sunday, this was going to be a super boring segment. Right? We've had
You're not
Largely.
wrong.
Max Verstappen win 2 races, and then we had Carlos Sainz get his appendix taken out and win a race. And then we had Max Verstappen win 2 races. And then Miami happened.
Go Lando.
Bro.
I'm so
Go
fucking
Mr.
happy for
Calrissian
Lando,
himself.
dude. Lando with his first F1 win. I don't even care when that safety car came out, if it was wrong or not. Doesn't matter.
Hey,
He
you know
won.
what? If Max Verstappen can say it's all good, then anyone who's not a driver has no leg to stand on.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
I know Max said it's all good and good for him, as he should. If Lewis Hamilton wins that race, does Max Verstappen say it's all good?
No.
No chance.
No chance.
There's no fucking chance. He says
So no,
it's all
I'm
good.
not. I think it's the people that want to use that to like just take away from Lando's first win.
Oh, for
I mean,
sure.
Because even after that, there were plenty of laps. If Max's car was up to par with Lando's that day, he should have caught him. A
Lando-
second
the
and a
fact that
half
Lando
is
pulled away.
nothing.
Yeah, the fact that Lando got out of DRS range in 1 lap
Yeah.
should
And
tells you all you
stayed
need
out.
to know about that. Yeah.
Like that's happened before, right? Like, some of the Ferraris in the last year, like somebody will get out and get past Max in the first lap and get out of DRS range. But as soon as the tires warm up or something, he just blows by him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that that McLaren was a fucking rocket ship on Saturday. That thing was flying, especially around the corners. It was, that car was,
Let me tell you who had the
Incredible.
drive of the day, though. Hometown hero Logan Sargent. Just an absolute menace out there. The real goat of Formula One. Just taking it to another level, truly. I mean, to see his racecraft, his ability to save battery and use the overtake in appropriate usage, and just like his ability to finish a good race, that is quite literally, he's quite literally the best racer of all time.
Are you done now?
Yeah.
Okay. You had your fun.
Thank you for letting me run with that bit. I appreciate
You had
you.
your fun.
I had my fun. Now we're back to reality, I guess. But good for Lando, man.
Yeah.
He's like slowly McLaren has become my like the team that I really like to watch, and I might have to get some gear at some point, you know?
I'm glad that they've bounced back from the team that like unceremoniously fired Daniel Ricciardo.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got, I mean, Lando, I always liked Lando, and then Oscar is phenomenal. He just got kind of hosed.
Dude, he got so unlucky the whole race.
But I mean, Oscar looked like he was going to get a win before Lando did. With how he's been racing, like how
Yeah.
consistently he's been racing. If he'd been in, he would have gotten that win.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Drummer Duck says, what do they do if they get an itch on their nose during the race? Now, I know that astronauts have like a little like Velcro thing strip right here that they can kind of move their head over and scratch on. So maybe that.
not
Like a
that.
little scratching post on the inside
No,
of their helmet.
Their helmets, you can't move your head inside of an F1 helmet. It's like
Look, you could. There's cushion. You can push the cushion a little bit.
Like,
No.
you just gotta like.
Or on a,
I mean, here's
honestly,
the thing.
on
Here's
a
the thing.
straight, you're lifting up your visor and you're scratching your nose.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's
I
what
was
you're
about to
doing.
say
You're just doing this. It's
whatever like race it was that was like super hot. Was it Saudi last year that was like super hot?
yeah.
And George Russell's going down the straight at 200 miles an hour with his hands over the wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
put
think
his
these
hand
guys can
up to-
handle
yeah,
doing a little scratchy scratch on the.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
old
when you're in sixth gear and gas pedals all the way down, you can flip up your visor and just be like bloop, 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 bloop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hell,
So
Cameron
how-
watches TikTok while he drives. Why can't Max Verstappen scratch his nose?
Right? It's hands free though. All right. I only
Yeah.
have to like
Cameron
swipe,
hasn't wrecked in a
Ever.
while.
ever.
You've never wrecked?
Never been in a car accident.
Look at you go.
Been driving
That's
for
nice.
20 years.
Nice.
We're old.
I've only been in
Been
at
doing
one
a
fault.
thing for 2 decades.
Yeah, I've been in one at fault, and I still maintain my innocence on it. They were pulling an illegal U-turn. They shouldn't have been there. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna gaslight them into that. But the only other time I've been in a car wreck is when my brand new car got obliterated on 36.
Oh yeah, you got oof.
I got obliterated. The guy was doing like 70. I was at a dead stop. Wham. Wham.
Man, that was pretty unlucky.
Yeah. It wasn't fun. Like the good part is like I didn't see it coming. And that's
Yeah.
like they say that's like the good thing because you're already like I was like
You don't
relaxed in the
brace,
back
you're
of my
not,
chair.
like,
Yeah, you
tight,
don't
yeah.
brace, you just
You just blow
Sucked.
up.
yeah.
Back to F1, Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
This is supposed to be I was like waiting for you to like take off with this segment, and you just didn't. So,
Well, I mean,
what do you think? Let me ask you this: do you think so? It feels to me like the pack is catching up to Red Bull. That car is still a fucking rocket ship on the straights,
Mhm.
and I think it's still the best car on the grid.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. However, it's not like watching races, even the ones that Max won. It's not like watching last year where he was winning by almost a minute per race. Right. So, do you think by the end of this season, we're going to have any semblance of a competitive race at the top?
Yeah. It was race 6 and we just did. So
I mean, in the driver standings, is Max going to run
Um,
away with this thing?
he's not so it's he's probably gonna win. He's got like 185 points.
36.
Okay. Maybe
Sergio's
Checo
next
has
closest
maybe
103.
Yeah.
maybe it's Red Bull that has 185. But yeah, he's probably gonna win. That's a lot of points. And
Red
you
Bull
need
has
him
239.
before this
Ferrari
weekend.
has 187.
Okay. So maybe it was before this weekend.
It was before this
Yeah.
weekend.
That I mean, he has to not podium. And that's very unlikely for a lot of these races, unless he has reliability issues.
Like in Australia. I mean, he didn't
Yeah.
podium in Australia.
So that's what's gonna have to happen. Red Bull's gonna bring some more upgrades here in a little bit.
I can bring
So-
him to Monza.
I'm not sure. I didn't deep dive into the schedule. I was just going off of what Max said that they've got him coming in the next race or two, I think, for their first set, or significant set. So we'll see. But it's gonna get hopefully to the point where it really matters how a car is set up and just how it feels on that track.
Yeah.
And what kind of track it is. I mean, Miami, if you're not cornering great, you're not going anywhere. Because it's not a permanent racetrack. There's not always rubber being put down by different levels of sport because it's a parking lot. We're gonna see the same thing
I don't know
in
what you do in parking lots, but I'm burning rubber all day, man. I'm rolling coal. We're having a damn old good time.
and
Rolling coal on them dicks. Remember that when we were what was that, Michigan State? That dude like tried so hard to like roll coal, and I was like, liberals, fucking liberals. Like we're just in Eugene, man. Like
yeah.
we just live there. Like relax.
God, I forgot about that.
So, and I mean, we'll see the same thing at at like Monaco and Vegas, but I think that everyone saw this, everyone in the paddock or on the grid saw this and went, oh, okay,
They're
Yeah.
gettable.
it can happen. And tons of guys win from the timing of a safety car. They build timing a safety car like their assumption of when crashes will happen or issues into their strategies, and they just change. And we just happen to get a second safety car 5-6 laps later, and it just worked out. If Max had been on
Max
the
literally
pit
got a
straight-
safety car into a fucking championship, so he can't
Yeah.
really talk about safety car issues.
exactly. And if Max had been on the pit straight on this one or coming around the corner for the safety car, he would have had the better tires.
Yep.
Um
Yeah, I mean, some
And
of it's luck
so-
for sure.
yeah, but I don't know.
Well, there was, I mean, like even was it Hulkenberg who like almost, or was it somebody almost got in a wreck on the last 4 laps, and they're like, oh no, like if there's a safety car here,
We were talking about it in the rate. We were like, everybody else on the grid needs to be on the radio saying, "Do not fight because Max isn't winning."
yeah.
yep,
And even that, do not fight. Lando's gonna get a win. We're all gonna be happy about
Everybody chill
Like,
the fuck out.
everyone like it's like in video games, everyone like that.
it. Everyone like that. Like, so I don't know.
I don't know if
think
you guys have talked
it's
about
gonna be an
this.
interesting season. We still have 20 or 19 races left. And the thing for me is from what we saw last season with Max just pure dominance, it felt like we've watched 36 races of Max winning, and now we finally have a break from him not being up there, and it being someone different other than Checo or a random Ferrari. That we can have a really exciting 19 races coming up.
I'm
and-
just exciting. I'm like, even if Max wins these, I just feel like it's going to be more competitive, and that
yeah, and I
is
was
good.
And I was talking to someone today, and I was like, if people like to compare it to NASCAR because Americans love to compare European things to their own stuff, but Formula One had more viewers on Sunday, by about 800,000, and you don't get someone winning by a nose, like you don't win by 0.001 seconds in Formula One. That's not the kind of
That was
No,
pretty crazy.
Formula
though.
One-
it was
a
absolutely crazy. But
Formula
it's-
One's a marathon. NASCAR's
it's
a
who can-
sprint.
Yeah, it's who can get to the end, which is ironic because NASCAR does more laps, but I get the idea.
You know
So-
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean
though.
they're doing more laps, but it's a lot less wear and tear on their cars.
So I don't know. I think that it's exciting for the sport. But when Max wins at the next race, those 800,000 people will be gone, and we won't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I don't think
So-
so, man. I think there's a good chunk. Like, I'm here to stay. I joined with the Drive to Survive fanboys of the world
Yeah, you're a DTS girly. It's okay.
for sure, and I own that.
Hell
But
yeah.
I'm here to stay, man. I'm in. I bought in, and I'm here.
Eli got me into Formula One, and then he fell out of it.
Yep.
We'd watch him. We lived
did.
in Florida.
Yeah,
Just 'cause
back in the
Phil
days
just-
when like Vettel was like destroying everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kimmy was
Kimi Räikkönen, man,
was a
Love Kimi.
problem.
He was a problem. One of my favorite
The real
videos
problem.
of all Formula One is like the it was a safety car where all the cars are just, or it was a formation lap. All the cars are doing their like little squiggly, they're warming up their tires, and there's just Kimmy just in the middle,
Dead
just
straight. Yeah.
just dead straight. Do not tell me to warm up my tires. So I have a question for you. I don't know if you guys talked about this in the last episode. We were talking about Formula One. I don't know if it had broken yet. Adrian Newey,
Had not broken.
renowned. What?
It hadn't broken yet.
Okay, renowned engineer. He's the CTO for Red Bull, but he's a renowned engineer. Adrian Newey is leaving Red Bull first quarter of 2025. Are we witnessing the end of this Red Bull dominance? Because I mean, Adrian Newey is essentially every bit of their success right now.
So the timing is interesting because through first quarter of 2025, we'll get them their new car for next year and also their upgrade packages and their plans. It, however, will not get them any of their plans for 2026 and the new regulations and the new power units.
That's kind of what that's what I'm getting at.
It's going around that he just kind of wants a break. And I think, 9 months is a pretty good break before you go work at Williams in 2026.
Is that what you think? Williams?
I would love to see him at Williams. Are you kidding me? Bring back like that Williams dominance.
That'd be cool.
With a new car.
With a new car.
New regulations.
Andretti Racing.
So that was another thing. I did say he should just go to Andretti and dare Formula One not to have him there. Just be like, if you guys respect me so much, bring my team.
Play chicken with the FIA.
Yeah. I'm not going to any of your teams. I'm going to go to Andretti and dare you to leave me out of the sport.
That'll be so sick.
Drummer Duck on the chat. Want some F1 college football synergy? F1 Austin, so the United States Grand Prix, is the same weekend as Georgia, Texas.
Hell yeah. Is it in Texas?
Easy.
Is it in Texas or is it in Georgia?
Georgia at Texas.
It's Georgia at Texas. Oh my God.
Austin's gonna be fucking bonkers.
We going?
Let's chat offline. Let's take this offline, boys.
All right. First Just Two Fans meetup in Austin.
I'm saying my grandpa lives there. We got a place to stay.
For 2 events that we cannot afford the tickets to. So
no,
we're subscribe button on Twitch.
We're getting into both with media passes, Cameron.
Yeah, media passes.
I got a lot of work to do before August when you can start putting in letters for those.
Here's the thing. We've got the episodes to back it up. All we gotta do is not give them the viewer counts. That's all we gotta do, boys.
No, we just throw Chris on the roster.
Yes, renowned sports reporter Chris.
He's backed by an actual agency.
No, I'm not. That wasn't sarcastic. He is renowned.
Oh, sorry. The way you say renowned, when you say it once every, 6-7 months to me, it sounds sarcastic. I mean, you
like
get
how
it, right?
there's a pattern of 6 to 7 months between renowns between you and I.
But I've gotten 3.
That's some fun deep lore for the podcast.
We haven't played, any D&D or anything like that in a while, and so it's usually when we're like face to face.
I know what you're talking about, dude. I play D&D almost every week.
I said we, not like the actual we, not the royal we.
Oh, gotcha. All right, well. Anyways,
trying to find
F1.
what week that is. Yeah, Georgia at Texas on Saturday, October 19th. Competing with Quali.
Good luck getting a hotel. Don't need a hotel. My grandpa lives there. Jamie,
good luck anybody that wants to go to either of these events. That's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Woo. That would be amazing, though. Go to Georgia at Texas on Saturday and go to the U.S. Grand Prix on Sunday. Oh my God.
We'll take it offline. We'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at it, boys.
We'll take a little peek.
Chat.
A little chit chat.
We'll peek at it. We'll peek at it.
A little peeksy. All right. Let's move on. We're going to do some NBA updates. Playoffs are in full swing. First round went pretty much as everybody expected. I don't think
Mavericks
anybody
beating Clippers was a little weird.
a little weird. I mean, it's the 4 or 5 seed, right? So, and it went 7 or 6.
Yeah.
It went 6, but I think that series went about like I thought. I thought the Mavericks
Well, it's
were
playoff
actually the
Luka
better team.
too. Like, what are you really gonna do?
I don't think many people had the Timberwolves sweeping the Suns in the way that they did. The Timberwolves are on one right
They
now.
are. I mean, they're just a really good team.
They
right?
are.
Like,
That
Ant is
team
playing like the best player in the NBA
yeah,
right now. He's playing like the best player in the NBA.
100%.
Like, I don't even think you could debate that at this point. Like right now, like obviously, like if you take the whole course of the season, it's probably still Jokic. But right now, if you have a playoff run right now that you need to build a team on, you're picking Ant and no one else.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with the Timberwolves, and I'm trying to find a slight glimmer of hope here because it feels pretty hopeless right now
I
for
understand
the
that.
Nuggets. But the one thing about this team, and this is what hurt them last year against the Nuggets in the first round, is yes, they're super talented. Yes, they have all the size advantage. They have the best defense in the league. Whatever you want to say, that is all very true. But they have yet in this playoffs to face any adversity. Now, that's because they're playing at such a high clip, but somebody's going to beat them. They're not going to go 16-0.
Yeah.
So what happens to a young team whose superstar is 22 years old when you plant just that tiniest little seed of doubt in their mind? That's the one thing I need to see from them. So if the Nuggets go in game 3 and figure out how to shoot a fucking basketball for once and beat them at home, what happens then? How do they rebound? That's what I need. I need to see that before I can just say that they're going to go on and win this whole thing.
Yeah.
But they are 100,000%, no bones about it. They are playing the best basketball in the NBA right now.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw this, but this is the first time in 20 years that there has not been Steph Curry, LeBron James, or Kevin Durant in the second round of the playoffs.
It's
20
truly
years.
a changing of the guard right now.
Anthony Edwards was 2 years old the last time one of those guys wasn't in the playoffs.
Yep.
And now he's the superstar of the playoffs. It's insane. It's insane.
Insane is
But-
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about them. They're not even like hateable.
They really aren't.
They don't
it's
have
like
anybody on
they're
that
fun
team
to
where I'm like,
watch.
fuck those guys. Like the
Yeah.
Lakers just fucking whined every fucking game against
Ugh.
the Nuggets. All they fucking did was complain up and down the court to the press. All it was a bitch fest. I can't say anything bad about the Timberwolves. I
Nope.
can't. I want to. I wish I fucking hated them, but I don't. Truly, if they beat the Nuggets, which they're going to, if the Nuggets pull this off, it's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen because they have truly just been outclassed
They're
in
just
the
getting
first 2
outplayed.
games.
Yeah.
If the Timberwolves go on to do what they should do and beat the Nuggets in this series, I hope they win it all. They're just
Dude, with the
so
way they're
freaking
playing,
fun to
it's
watch.
really hard to think that they won't.
Yeah, the hard part is Boston, right? That's the
And
one.
you can't count out Oklahoma City either. They're also playing incredible ball right now.
They are, no doubt about it, and they're about to beat Dallas in game 1. They're up 88-74 with a minute left in the third in game 1 there. And that's so yes, you can't count out Oklahoma City. The problem with both those teams, the Thunder have the same problem. What's going to happen when you're tested in the playoffs? Both those teams are not really battle tested when it comes to deep playoff runs.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be the true test of what happens here. In the chat, Drummer Duck, I can't have the Celtics win. Married to a Boston family, brother-in-law is a Celtics
rough, bud.
asshole.
That's rough, buddy.
That is rough.
That's rough, buddy.
That is rough.
Wish
No
you all the
doubt.
best in this trying time. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
I agree with you. I don't want the Celtics to win.
I don't either.
I pretty much don't want any East Coast team to
Although,
win.
like, here's
anything.
the weird part about the Celtics is like it's hard to root against them necessarily. Outside of the fact that they're East Coast and like Boston and like they've got whatever the history and whatever, and their fans are probably annoying. Like this roster, it's like it's a masterclass. It's a masterclass of roster construction, and so it's like it's really hard to like actually hate it because you're like they
Right.
just built this roster so well,
Right.
like. And like really like Jason Tatum is a great NBA player, but like is he really on the same level as like Ant or Jokic or Giannis or any of those guys? No, he's not there. And so they did it without basically having like this absolute superstar, right? I think they're kind of
Right.
forcing Tatum into that role because he is. I mean, he's an incredible basketball player. Like,
Yep.
I'm not like trying to knock him at all, but like he's not this like certified superstar, right? And then, like they're doing it without that, and I think it's respectable. I'm still going to be rooting for the Timberwolves.
Oh yeah, there's just no chance that.
Yeah, and they
I
do have
mean,
Peyton Pritchard.
They do have Peyton. It's not like the Celtics that had Paul Pierce and
Yeah.
those guys. They're just like super hateable. There's really none of those teams left, actually. Now that I'm looking at who's left, like pretty much all the teams that are left, I'm pretty fond of for the most part, or I don't hate any of them.
Yeah,
I guess I should say. Like I don't have like the Lakers to root against, or I guess really that's the only team that was in that I hate. The Suns,
yeah,
the typical offenders.
like these like weird super teams like the
Yeah.
Clippers and
The super team like thing just seems to be kind of dying out.
which I love.
Oh, it's awesome.
Like, I mean, you look at these like super teams all the super teams are gone, right? You've got roster construction with Thunder, Mavericks, Timberwolves, Nuggets, all roster construction. Celtics, Cavs, Pacers, Knicks, all roster construction. All the super teams are gone. The Clippers, the Suns, the Lakers, the Bucks, the Sixers, all gone. It's all about
Pretty
full
incredible.
roster construction now, and I'm here for it.
Well, I'm here for it too.
I've actually been
100%.
watching quite a bit of the playoffs. My lady, she lives like an hour away ish, and so I make that drive, and I just like I'll have like the playoffs on the side. I won't be actually watching them, but I'll be like listening to it.
Yeah.
And like so I've actually been paying attention to these playoffs pretty well, and it's fun. It's like I'm not
It is
miserable
entertaining
watching
basketball.
NBA
Yeah.
basketball, which is
It's fun.
brand new
sure.
for me. Brand
It
new.
is fun for sure. So real quick, I think we kind of alluded to it, but as we sit here today, who are your picks in the West and East, and then your champ?
I mean, I think out of the East, it's pretty clearly the Celtics.
They're by far the favorite. I mean, I think it's a true choke job if they don't win the East.
Yeah, I mean the Knicks are a good team, but it's the Celtics, and there's a big gap between the next people. Out of the West, man, that's tough. But I think the Timberwolves. I think they're playing too good. Like they're the. It's like one of those things. It's like Kemba Walker at UConn. You just can't stop him for some reason. It's just he's locked in. That's what this feels like.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the same two teams. I would really like it if the Nuggets were healthy. The thing with the Nuggets is their problem, and this was their problem last year, although they had a better bench last year than they do this year.
Mm-hmm.
But the Nuggets live and die with their starting five. And throughout that playoff run last year, they were as healthy as you can be in a playoff stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was even nicked up. Jamal Murray's been questionable in just about every game in the playoffs with a calf injury. KCP has a severe ankle sprain that he's fighting through, and it's clearly affected his shot. And when Jamal Murray specifically is hurt for the Nuggets run a two-man game. It's Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic.
Beautiful pick and roll.
But when Jamal doesn't have his explosive step and he's not a threat, I mean, the Timberwolves are just tripling him every time down the floor. Jokic. I mean,
yeah,
they literally put 3 guys on him because none of the rest of the guys can shoot right now. And so they're just like, anybody but Jokic can beat us, and the Nuggets are just not up to it. right now.
sorry, I'm just thinking about this. I don't know if you've seen all the stuff about Jokic, but have you seen like all the memes about him? How like it looks like he's playing pool basketball. And what
I have not seen
now?
it.
Okay, so it looks like he's playing pool basketball because everything is just like and like slow, but next time you watch Nikola Jokic play, act like he's playing pool basketball.
I can already see it.
He's just playing pool
Here's the
basketball,
thing,
man. I
like,
love it.
Nikola Jokic is never going to be the superstar the NBA embraces because it's not pretty.
Well, also, he doesn't want to be.
He doesn't want it.
He could not care less about basketball.
Ant wants it, and you can
Yes.
tell he wants it. And he is what the NBA needs.
He's got the personality for it.
He's got the personality. He's got the game. I mean, he's basically Michael Jordan reincarnate with how which, we're not going to go down any conspiracy theories right now.
Are him or Jimmy Butler are brothers?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Have you seen those like half and half
Yes,
pictures with
yes.
Ant and MJ? Dude,
It's the same with Jimmy Butler, dude. It's like they look exactly
it's creepy.
Yeah.
And we know MJ was like sleeping with a new lady every night in the 90s. So
Didn't he say like didn't he just came out like saying he was having like sleeping with 2 different women a day?
Up
or
to
something like
7, he said.
A day?
That's what I think it said.
Oh,
I don't know. I
God.
didn't even
That's
read it.
gross.
It is
Like that's
gross.
just gross, man.
It's
Like
gross.
I'm not one to like shame on like body
There's
count
definitely
stuff, but
kids
that's gross.
I don't think it was 7 a day. That is extreme. But
I mean, he was a super
just-
athlete.
I'm
I
not
wouldn't be
just
able to keep
saying-
up with that. But
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
yeah, could be something fun.
Could be something fun. All right. Celtics, Timberwolves. Who wins that series if that's what we get to?
I'm gonna go Timberwolves. I believe. I'm a believer, man.
I hope that's true. If they beat the Nuggets, I'm all aboard the Timberwolves train.
I'm a believer.
So I hope that's true. I'm gonna pick Boston just because I think that's the safe pick, and I don't want to be chalk on this show. We need something to argue about at some point.
Yeah. Big argues
I
about
will
the
be
NBA
full-
over here.
yeah,
I feel
I'll
so
be-
passionate about it.
Right? Yeah. I will be fully rooting for the Timberwolves. I'd
Yeah.
gladly be wrong. Let's put it that way. All right. Moving along. College football's coming, folks. I promise. We'll get there to our real bread and butter. We just got to do some, TLC
Cleanup
around
work.
here.
Some
Yeah.
cleanup work.
Hockey in full swing as well. Fortunately, in Denver, we've got 2 really good teams playing in Ball Arena. Avs are currently in the middle of game 1 against the Stars. Fell to an early 3-0 deficit in the first and climbed back with 2 goals in the second. It's the second intermission.
If you have
Down
Nathan
3-2.
McKinnon on your
Dude, that
team,
guy,
you are never out of a game.
that guy is a fucking video game character. He is
Unreal.
Unbelievable.
Unreal. He's had just like an unbelievable season, and yet probably still nowhere near Wayne Gretzky's worst season.
Cameron's starting to realize the reality of being on camera the full episode.
When you
Being
guys say out of pocket shit about Michael Jordan, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta Google this before we get too far down some rabbit hole.
Just Trevor Duck in the chat. Cam, move for us so we know you're alive.
Hey, you know what though? It's not because the cameras and the stream froze. So
I mean, it's pretty impressive that you can sit that still, to be honest with you. I'm always fidgeting with something.
well, my hands are going a mile a minute, but like especially because I'm looking away from the camera,
Yeah, it doesn't
like to
help.
my other screen. Like yeah, I
The
could
body
just,
separation is just unreal. Is what Drummer Duck is really saying is that you really got good isolation in your body.
yeah, dude, I'm
That
an athlete.
you can sit
Athlete.
and stare blankly into the abyss while typing furiously.
I'm a
and
high
not have anyone
performance
notice.
athlete.
An athlete.
Anyway, back to hockey. Yes, if you have Nathan McKinnon on your team, you're pretty much not out of any game.
Yeah.
Period.
He's
and then
having
you
an
also
incredible
have Cale
season.
Makar, by the way.
Yeah, and Mikko
Fucking
Rantanen.
cheat code. Yeah, Mikko Rantanen. Yeah, the Avs are stacked on offense. So that's the thing. Like they dropped to that 3-0 lead, and I was like, I've seen this play before. I'm
Yeah.
really not that worried yet. Now, if we were down 3 goals going into the third, I'm slightly concerned, but I'm still like, I've seen him scored 4 in 10 minutes.
Easy.
So even if they drop this game, they dropped the first game. It was a close one against the Winnipeg Jets in round 1, and they went on to get the gentleman's sweep against them in 5 games.
Gentlemen.
They are playing the Stars. The Stars have kind of had the Avs number this year, so we'll see how this series plays out. And the rest, it's been very chalk. The 1 and 2 seeds in every other divisional round game or series won, except the Avs were the 3 seed that won.
The Leafs were a 3 seed too, right?
The Leafs lost to the Bruins.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, so you got the Canucks and Oilers as the other Western team. On the East, you got Panthers and Bruins and Rangers and Hurricanes. The Rangers lead their series 2-0. Boston has a 1-0 lead on Florida, and the Canucks and Oilers series has yet to start. That one starts tomorrow. So we'll see what happens with the Avs here. I was really thinking basically until yesterday that there was a really good chance that we were going to have 2 parades in Denver in June. No longer think that.
No.
But the Avs legitimately, with that offense, the Avs could win this whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to predict that because my other prediction would probably be the Bruins right now, and Boston can't have 2.
Oh, my God, no.
Boston can't have 2.
Oh, I was going to go from us having 2, like the first city to have 2 in the same, as the NBA and NHL winning at the same time. It can't be Boston. Anybody but fucking Boston or New York.
Right.
Anybody. Actually, literally, and maybe
LA. Ooh,
LA.
Dallas would be rough.
Dallas would suck.
Dallas would be rough.
That would be better than Boston, New York, or LA, though.
Would it? Cowboys fans getting 2?
Not Cowboys.
Although, to be fair,
I'm talking NBA and NHL, where it's like two within like 3 days of each other.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
So,
and
I have
to
a
be
question for you.
to be fair, Cowboy fans are not Dallas Star fans. They're probably Golden Knight fans or whoever won last year.
Hasn't Boston done it already? Have they done the NHL and NBA in the same year? I know they had the Red Sox and one of those teams.
Find out.
But I'm talking NBA and NHL where it literally happens like within days of each other. Cameron, do some research. Has any city won the NBA and NHL title in the same season? Anyway, I have a question for you. If your city was doing this, like let's just say it would happen in Denver. It's not going to happen this year, but if it was going to happen this year, would you as a fan rather, like, let's just say the Nuggets win first, because I think NBA finishes first generally. If the Nuggets win, but the Avs are in the middle of their Stanley Cup Finals series and it looks like they're going to win, would you want them to wait and combine the parade and just have like the most epic championship parade ever?
So it looks like as of May last year, before Denver did it, no one had done it.
Denver didn't do it. They had it back to back. The Avs
That's right. They had back to back. No one's done it since the NBA was created.
Yeah, so I think Boston's done it with the Patriots and
yeah, they've won multiple
Red Sox. They've had multiple in a year. These 2 because they finish at the same time.
Yeah.
So question stands. Would you want them to combine it or would you want them to have 2 parades?
So the parades are something that I couldn't care less about. So whatever. Like, I'm not going to go either way, probably.
I wouldn't go. I didn't go to either of the ones in Denver. I haven't gone to any parade,
Yeah.
championship parade ever, and I won't. But if this did happen, I would want it to be like the biggest fucking party one day event ever.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'd probably want to have it do two, so each team gets their own thing. I don't
Looks
know.
like Boston's had 3 chances at it though.
I guess I'll amend my statement. If it was Denver this year, because the Avs did it 2 years ago and the Nuggets did it last year, they've each had their own moment. It would be really cool if they combined and did
Oh
it
yeah, that'd be cool.
together this year.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
But if it had been like 20 years since either of them won, then you probably have to give them each their own moment.
Yeah,
You're probably right.
I know I am.
All right. We're both picking the Avs. I don't really, honestly, like hockey. I love hockey. I love watching hockey, but I just don't have the capacity in my brain to watch all of it.
That's
so
how I
pay
feel about
attention to
Formula
the
One
Avs.
a lot. Is like I like watching Formula One. I like it. I don't have the knowledge to have real nuanced takes with it. So, and same with NHL. Like I just don't
I
have the
can-
knowledge to really be able to like.
I
tell
think
you.
I can get in there with the Avs. Like I can tell you what's going on with the Avs. I just don't watch enough of the rest to give you any sort of good feedback.
Yeah.
About what. I just
Yeah,
know
yeah.
the Avs are really fucking good. That's what I know. All right. Other things we missed. The NFL draft was wild.
Let me tell you something. Fuck draft experts. Fuck, they're all dumb.
Fuck them all.
It's the dumbest thing. The fact that
I think-
people give out grades for such a turkey shoot of an
Listen.
event.
Oh, I for probably, I don't know, a full week after the draft, people would come up to me at work and be like, "What do you think this guy said about Bo Nix and blah blah?" I was like, I literally could not care any less what these chuckle fucks say.
Yeah.
I don't give like Mel
Well, it's like-
Kiper's the biggest fucking fraud in sports media.
Somebody asked me that, like, well, Mel Kiper said that he had Bo Nix with a late second round grade. And I was like, he also said that Jimmy Clausen should be the number 1 pick in the draft. So who are we really going to believe here? Where's Jimmy Clausen now? Do you remember Jimmy Clausen? No, because he never started a fucking game. He probably did, but
He was terrible.
he was awful, terrible, and you could see it from the get. But Mel Kiper just fell in love with him.
Here's the thing, man. Like I've missed on draft. I'm not going to say that I'm like the biggest draft expert ever. I was jumping for joy when the Broncos drafted Paxton Lynch.
Oh
and
yeah,
that
me too.
Turned out to be the biggest fucking
Again, it's like
ever.
it's such a crapshoot. I mean, look,
Total
Paxton
crapshoot.
Lynch. When you look at him on paper, I mean, he was amazing. He had everything you ever want in like a
Here's-
franchise quarterback, except the work ethic, which you can't know as a fan.
I'm not going to take everything away from Mel Kiper. It is truly impressive when you get to the 5th, 6th, 7th rounds and these guys are getting picked and he pulls out just the most random stats out of his brain. Like there's no way he's fumbling through papers to find this shit. His knowledge base about statistics and what guys can and can't do and their attributes and all this stuff is truly impressive.
Yeah,
So I don't want to just say like he's a total fraud, but trying to listen to him and say that because Mel Kiper says that the Broncos overdrafted Bo Nix, he's a bad pick.
he's a
that is
snake oil
just-
salesman.
It's soft. That's a soft take by
Yeah.
whoever's saying that. Like, of course, like his job is to do that. Like his entire job is to give these guys grades and then give analysis based on that grade. He does a good job of that, right? And I think he truly, I'll give him some credit. I think more times than not, he's pretty accurate as you can be in a job that is destined for failure.
Yeah,
Holy shit, the Avs just scored a game time goal in the first 40 seconds of the third.
Nice.
All right, we're 3-3. Let's go. Yeah, so he's super accurate. I think he's honestly, I give him shit. I think he's pretty good at his job. But listening to him and saying like taking what he says and saying this is what it's going to be is
Yeah.
just nonsense.
The fact that the way he presents it to me is what annoys me. I think, and what all these draft
Oh,
experts
it's because he's
present.
conceited as fuck.
Well, it's because they think it's like, well, I had him as a late second grade, so why would you ever take him there? It's like, yeah, Mel, this is a guy who, like you're talking about Sean Payton, who picked up Drew Brees after an injury that people thought he was done for and made him into a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Exactly.
Maybe he knows what he's doing.
Maybe.
But instead, he just presents it like, oh, this is a fact that Bo Nix is actually only supposed to be drafted in the second round. It's like, no, like especially like for me, like when I'm grading drafts, it's like, did you go get your guy? That's an A.
Here's the thing. Yeah, and
Like that's all you can do.
and there's a very controversial radio host here in Denver, DMAC. Eli, you remember DMAC.
Oh, I remember DMAC.
Well, one thing that DMAC does very well, and he sticks to it, and that is his whole philosophy. If you have your guy, fucking get him. Who
Mhm.
cares where you get him? If he's your guy, fucking go get him. And the people are like, the Broncos could have traded out. You don't know that. The Raiders were literally picking right after them, and they
Mhm.
need a quarterback. Can you imagine if you pegged Bo Nix as your guy and you gambled and traded back and he went to a division rival?
Yep.
That would fucking blow. So just take
Well,
your guy.
Just take your guy. Also, like I think Sean Payton has literally said this. He said we weren't gonna have a chance to miss out on him for a couple of third or fifth rounders. Like we have
It's
the guy
just
we
not
want.
a gamble that's worth
Yeah.
taking.
Now him being like, we tricked the Vikings into getting JJ McCarthy. He's like, okay, Sean,
I think
relax,
he did.
bud.
I think he did. But
Maybe
it
I
doesn't
mean
matter.
I think the Vikings were going to take McCarthy no matter what, but
He tricked them into trading
Up
from
to get him.
11 to 10. He made some phony phone calls to the Jets for sure. I mean, that's a game
Fair.
that's played. Now,
Yeah,
Sean going out and gloating about that is just like, come on, bud. Like,
yeah.
there's just some shit that stays in the Kevin Costner movie, and we can just
'Cause I
fantasize about
fucking
what
feel like it.
I was watching that movie before the draft. I was like,
I
this is my
love
draft
that
day.
movie.
It's a holiday. That's my holiday movie.
I love that movie.
So here's the thing about that movie. I very much enjoy that movie. It is like Top Gun, a wonderful movie ruined by a really shoddy romance.
I don't give a
That romance
flying
is
fuck about
so
the rom-
half-cocked
Oh,
and
it's-
so bad.
It's terrible, and they don't sell it well. It's awful.
They have no
but
on-screen
I'm
chemistry at all.
I'm not watching that movie for the romance. I
No.
just look right past that, and I watch it for the beautiful GM work that Kevin Costner did.
That
If you were
was-
to cut
that
out
was
like
fun.
2 scenes, like the first scene and then like the closet scene, it would just be weird sexual tension until
Yeah.
the end where you find out she's pregnant, and it would totally work better.
It would
That's
absolutely
actually
work
true.
better.
That's
Like you'd
actually
just
true.
be like, "Oh, what?" And
Yeah.
that'd be it. Like
And then here comes Brad Pitt out of the corner. I'm Billy Bean. Like, like mesh it all together, boys. Mesh it all together.
I'm Billy Bean.
Oh, Billy Bean.
Um,
God, that's a
So,
great fucking movie.
back.
I was
to the
talking about
draft.
this the other day. Sorry, real quick. Rabbit hole. You got to go with it, Jamie. It's
I
part of my
know.
charm. It's part of my
It's
charm.
unlimited in the first hour. Everybody knows
Uh,
that.
Yeah. Greatest sports movies of all time. Is Moneyball top 2, top 3? Is it a sports movie for you?
Moneyball is absolutely a sports movie.
It's okay, good. I agree with that. Some people say it's not. They say it's a business movie.
No, it is a fucking sports movie.
It's a sports movie.
It's sports business, but it's sports.
Yeah.
That whoever has that take is fucking trash. That person is garbage.
All right.
Cameron,
So-
you look like you have that take, so I hope
No.
you don't, because you're
No.
trash of that.
He did. Up until right now.
No, that movie ranks real high on my I need to take a nap like level. Like
Oh, that's
top
a good
5
nap movie.
because that's a perfect nap movie.
It's not as
It
good
is
as
a
the
really
Master's
good
Nap,
movie.
but Moneyball Nap is
Dude,
pretty good.
nothing in the world beats a Master's Nap. Nothing.
Nothing. Top 3 nap all time.
Master's couch
Anyway,
nap.
back to your question. Best sports movie.
My
Oh.
money is Friday Night Lights, then Moneyball.
That's your top 2?
I think it's my top 2. Friday Night I fucking love Friday Night Lights, man.
That's true. I do fucking love that
I
movie.
love that movie. It's so good. And like it holds up too. Like watching it now, I watched it not that long ago. It still holds up. It is so good.
It's at least top 3. I would have to think about that.
Somebody
pretty
asked me
hard.
if about Rudy the other day. They're like, "You're a sports guy. Did you like Rudy?" I was like, "Not
I
even a
don't
little
like
bit."
Rudy at all. I think
I think
that
Rudy
movie
is a bad movie.
I think it's wickedly overrated.
And he was offsides.
Fully offsides.
Is Air a sports movie?
Who
I
the
haven't seen
fuck says it? Air?
I haven't seen it.
Air is not.
Is
Air is a business movie.
It's a business bro movie.
Is it good? I haven't seen it.
Oh, dude,
Very good.
it's so
Okay.
good, and it's on Prime or
Okay.
Stars.
I just
Top
reread Shoe Dog, which listener, if you have not read Phil Knight's book Shoe Dog, highly recommend. Also,
So,
the
I think
audiobook is
Netflix-
fantastic.
I think Netflix is making a docu-series about Shoe
They
Dog.
are. Read the book. It's an easy read. It's a quick read. Just do it. It's
It's very good. It's-
Okay, really
weird.
quickly to put this in perspective, since we're talking about sports movies, which is another episode style that we need to bring back. The top 150 according to Rotten Tomatoes. Guess what's at number 150 with a 61%.
150?
Yeah,
wait. This is top sports movies at 150.
yeah. So top 150 sports movies based
So
on
the
rating on
worst.
Rotten
This is
Tomatoes.
saying the worst sports
Yeah,
movie.
guess what's number 150 with a 61%.
Airbud.
No,
Airbud 2.
it's
The
none of the
sequel.
Airbud franchise, and I think you should put some respect on Bud's name. Okay.
Sorry, that's my bad.
I don't know. Can you give
That
me
was the
a hint?
first-
Like,
so,
what's the
you know-
sport?
You know, it's a sad story.
It is
Airbud
extreme
number
sport.
1 is the first movie that ever made me cry.
It's an extreme sport.
Yeah.
It's not Brink, is it?
Is it Brink?
No.
Oh,
It's an extreme
Childhood
sports
just
movie.
died.
yeah. No, I was about.
It's an
to just,
extreme
like,
sports movie.
It
And it's at
is.
number
I would
150.
say it's also like 60% rom-com, 39% sport, and then 1% just spice. All right, it's Blue Crush. We're moving on.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Yeah, I
number
wouldn't have guessed
the
that.
number one rated Rotten Tomatoes, and it's just based on the rating, not where they actually like comparing the movies to each other.
Critic rating.
Critic rating with a 92%.
Moneyball. 42?
Remember the Titans.
Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh, really?
Ooh, that's
That
good.
is a really good movie.
That's a good pull. That's a good movie.
Yeah, so it's
That's
based
a
on,
really
Good
good
movie.
movie.
Yeah. So it's based on
So
a few
Drummer
different
Duck says
factors,
his top 3 are Remember the Titans, Miracle, and Field of Dreams.
Remember the Titans and Field of Dreams are good pulls. That's
I mean,
really good.
Miracle's a
I
great
love
movie.
Miracle. Don't get me wrong, but I think Remember the Titans and Field of Dreams are at least in my top 5.
I would say Remember the Titans hits top 5. I don't know if Field of Dreams does. I love
I
Field of
think
Dreams.
Field of Dreams does for me nostalgically.
Yeah.
When was the last time you watched it?
Field of Dreams last
Not
year.
too long ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I watched
probably
it-
not last year, but
Like
Don't get me wrong. I
watched it,
still
like, 6
bawl like a
weeks ago.
baby when I watch it. He finally gets the catch with his dad.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong.
I
That's
watched it,
still
like 6
happening.
weeks ago, and like the adult humor like really hits.
Oh, well, okay. Here's the thing, too. Like the catch with his dad at the end, that one probably hit a little closer to home, too, right?
Oh yeah, dude, that crushed me.
Yeah.
I knew, and
yeah, I
knew
can
it
imagine.
in all 2 hours. Like I knew that was coming.
yeah.
I couldn't be prepared.
Why am
enough.
I doing this to myself?
Like, another one? Also, that episode of How I Met Your Mother is always on when I want to watch it, or just when
Yep.
I turn on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that one's rough.
The most crushing episode of TV ever.
Also, just like one of the most clever with the countdown
Yeah.
and all
Very
the
good.
stuff that's
Very
going
good.
on in the background. It's really
sure.
good. Speaking of sports movies, have you guys seen the previews and stuff for Challengers? The Zendaya.
Oh,
tennis
I
movie?
have. That looks wild, dude.
It looks wild. I've heard it's spicy as fuck, and it's getting really good reviews, which is shocking to me because when I first saw this, I was like, this movie's gonna be kind of trash, but it's actually getting
Dude, no,
good.
Zendaya doesn't do
getting good
shitty
reviews.
stuff. Like
No,
everything
she
she
doesn't.
picks
She-
good movies, man.
Yeah, she is.
Really? Have you seen the Dune movies?
Say psych right now. Dune Part 2 is a masterpiece.
Shout out to Ryan Gosling being the worst QB of all time.
Oh,
Yes.
dude. He was an
DB.
absolute liability at DB.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, DB. I said QB.
Yeah,
He said
we
DB.
got you. We know. We know.
All right, I want to get back to the draft. 6 QBs taken in the top 12 picks of the draft. And the most wild one, and I still cannot wrap my head around what the fuck the Falcons are thinking.
I've come around on this pick a little bit.
Explain your work.
So they did just pay Kirk big money. It's 2 years guaranteed, right? After the 2 years, their dead money goes way down. Michael Penix Jr. is a high upside, but very raw talent guy, right? Like he's very Jameis Winston-like, where he has the capability to be great. If Michael Penix Jr. was 2 years younger, people would absolutely be praising this. If he was 22 instead of 24, people would be saying this is a genius move. The only reason people are knocking this is because he's a little bit older, which I don't think. I think that's
Not
bad
the only
faith.
reason.
Well, it's because they paid Kirk Cousins a lot of money. But like, again, go get your guy. Like, if you think he's the future of your franchise,
I get where you're coming from. However, when you spend the money that you spend in free agency to get a quarterback, and you are one of the 8 worst teams in the NFL from last year, you have a lot more gaping holes that need to be filled than the quarterback position that you just filled.
true.
And
Here's
there
the-
were
here's-
steals on the board, absolute steals left on the board that could have helped them more than Michael Penix Jr. is going to in the next.
Yeah. Well,
2 to
look, here's the
3
thing. I'm not saying it's a great pick, right? Like I probably would have gone a different direction here after paying Kirk all that money. I get the thought behind it. Again, I think if he was 22, people would be like, absolutely, this is the perfect move. They're going to Green Bay Packers this with Jordan Love. He's going to come out, be a superstar.
I don't
The
know
fact
that
is-
anybody would have said perfect, but I think people would have stomached it better for sure.
Yeah, I think they would be seeing this more as a Jordan Love move where he's come out and be like a certified stud rather than this is all F grades, like that
Yeah.
kind of worst draft ever kind of shit. Which is funny though, because
Pretty
after
bad.
this, I think they did pretty well.
They
after.
did.
yeah.
They made up for it.
So I mean, I'm not gonna hate on the pick again. Like, I don't think this is what I would do, but it's a move. They did something at least.
It's a move.
Here's the thing: is like, you can make you could go out there, you could make the safe pick, right? You could get Olu Fashanu at line and just have like a certified stud for 20, 30 years, or you could go get this raw guy who might be just garbage. You just got to shoot your shot. Shoot or shoot.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
you shoot for the stars, you'll land on the moon. You
if
know what I'm saying?
anything, if anything, this draft showed that more than ever, this is an offensive league.
Oh yeah.
The first defensive player was Laiatu Latu, the UCLA edge, at 15.
It's
The
funny because
top
like I'm sitting
14
here,
picks of this draft were on the offensive side
Yeah.
of the ball.
people are like, "Wow, Laiatu Latu is the first defensive pick off the board. That's crazy." And I'm like, he should have been. It should have just been 10 picks higher, probably. That kid's
Yeah,
an absolute menace.
Yeah. I mean, he should have gone, really, 8th. He should have gone to Atlanta,
Yeah.
if we're being honest. But
Yep.
it is what it is. Let's stick to the Broncos because that's what this
Well,
podcast cares about.
I mean, yeah, but I was gonna say something. Hold on. What was it? I don't remember. Go for it.
Broncos.
Moving on.
Very clearly focused on the offensive side of the ball as well. Their second pick was Jonah Ellis, the Utah edge, which I was hyped about because that guy is a menace. But then they didn't have, or that was their third round pick. They didn't have a second round pick. Early in the fourth round, the Broncos trade up and draft none other than Bo Nix's favorite target, Troy Franklin.
Dude, the fact that he was on the board in the fourth is unbelievable.
Here's what I love about this even more, right? The Broncos said, Sean Payton said, they were this close to trading back into the third to get him because he was still on the board. But they looked at it and said the teams that were still there weren't going to be drafting wide receivers. So they gambled a little bit, but they didn't gamble in the fourth round because they traded up to the second pick in the fourth round to get him. Incredible. And the even better part about this is the secret workout that the Broncos had with Bo Nix where they fell in love with him. Did you hear all this, by the way?
Yeah.
You read stuff? So
well, you can tell our listener.
Troy Franklin. So the Broncos had a workout with Bo Nix before his pro day or right after. It was one of the two. So in Eugene, they had a workout with him on we're just going to, for argument's sake, say it was Friday night. They met with him at like 5 p.m. for dinner or whatever, and they gave him 3 plays to work on that he was going to work on the next day. When he came into the meeting Saturday morning, the next morning, they said he masterfully went through the progression of each play and what he would be looking at, and it matched exactly what they were looking for. And then they brought him out to the field, throwing to Troy Franklin, and he did everything that he was saying in the classroom to a T with as much accuracy as they could ever want. And that is when they fell in love with Bo Nix, and he was their guy ever from there on.
Yeah. And the fact that Sean Payton has not been this high on a quarterback since Patrick Mahomes. Now, is Bo Nix going to be Patrick Mahomes? Probably not. Let's be real. He's probably not going to be. But like the fact that a renowned quarterback coach, there's another word, renowned, Cameron, renowned. I did it again. A renowned quarterback coach and scouter. I mean, like, again, he saved Drew Brees' career.
Yep.
He was high on Patrick Mahomes when like he wanted Patrick Mahomes. Who got drafted 1 pick ahead of him.
He made something out of Jameis fucking Winston. All right.
Yeah. Like
this guy knows how to look at quarterbacks and get.
Yeah. He knows how to make a quarterback. It means something. And when he's that high on him, where they're willing to take a first round pick and put, especially top 12, like that, you got to take that into account. That's got to be something,
Yep. I could not be any more fucking hyped. I couldn't believe it. I called Eli after the pick.
Yeah.
I was like, did that just happen? Like, am I in fantasy land?
It's funny. So I was at a bar with a buddy of mine who is a Vikings fan, a big Vikings fan. And when they traded up, first of all, he was all aboard on the Vikings are trading up to get a tackle or something for the Chargers. That's what they were doing. They're going to make this big trade for Justin Herbert. So he was all excited about that. And then he saw JJ McCarthy come off the board. He's like, God damn it. And then 2 picks later, Bo Nix goes to my team. He's just like, you son of a bitch.
So good.
Loved it. It was so fun.
I can't wait. I just need them to announce his official number so I can buy every jersey that the Broncos have.
And the new jerseys too, which are fun.
New jerseys. I love the Broncos new jerseys are getting a ton of hate, and I don't fucking get it. I think they're sick.
So as college football fans, uniforms are something of you could say we're somewhat of experts in new
Especially
uniforms,
Oregon football fans.
especially Oregon football fans. NFL fans they're all Alabama fans when it comes to uniforms. They want the same old garbage bullshit that they've had for years. Now, I'm not saying the Broncos had garbage uniforms, but sometimes you got to get something new, something fresh. And the fact that people are complaining about really not a lot of changes. Like the uniforms are clean, but like there's not like they didn't like it's not like they changed the colors or like they like the uniforms look good, they're clean, but like they're not that different than what they were. Like it's all subtle differences, like the shoulders are different, like
Yeah,
the
I mean
numbers are different, but
they changed the accents. That's
yeah,
all they
like
did. Instead of
and
the
people are like, "What?"
swoopy side stripes that the Broncos had, those were legitimately outdated. Like
Yes.
I think you said the
They've had the
Broncos
same one since the
uniforms
early
weren't outdated.
90s.
They were late 90s, but yeah, they
Late
were
90s, yeah.
fully outdated. The updates that they did were, I just think they're super fucking clean. I
They're
think they
clean.
look great.
I
Is
also
it
love
like the
Houston's
most?
uniforms.
Is it? Oh, the
They're
Houston
wild.
uniforms are sick. I love them.
They're so sick.
I like most of the uniform updates that are
Yeah.
coming out. Now, again, that's the Oregon in me that's like, yeah, give me new stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But the Broncos uniforms are dope.
Yeah, they're fine. The thing is, like, they don't look that much different. Like, relax, people.
Drummer Duck, the new jerseys are ass. Why? Why are they ass? What about that is ass?
Because they're basic.
I don't get it.
I mean, if you look at it, Oregon's uniforms over the last couple of years have been basic. When under Mario Cristobal, they were just solid colors. Like that's basic, but they looked clean.
What is? I don't get what is bad about. I'm looking at them right now. I don't see what's bad about these. I really don't. I don't understand. Zach Wilson is number 10. That's Cameron saying that in the chat. He's 10 for right now. All those numbers are subject to change, and it's going to be Bo Nix. You don't get your first round quarterback at number 12 and don't give him his number. He's going to be number 10.
Absolutely.
Bo Nix might be the kind of guy that changes number to 12, though.
I could see it, but number 12 is already taken also.
True.
Really, the next quarterback number on the Broncos that's available is 16. If you're going in chronological order.
Yeah. Oh, can we talk about the Zach Wilson trade real quick? We didn't talk about that. We haven't talked about that at all.
We haven't talked about anything for 2 months, so
I know.
You're right.
Here's the thing, guys. If you think the Zach Wilson trade was a bad trade, it's not.
You don't get it.
It's not.
They got a experienced backup guy for nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
And that again, if you think,
Cameron, you block that guy.
I thought that was a legitimate chat.
I did too. I was like, woo! I was all excited.
If you think that trade was ass, it very clearly to me was, and all the Denver media was like, oh, this means they're not getting a guy in the first round. It's like, you guys just don't get it. I don't know what to tell you. Nobody's going to look at Zach Wilson and what he's done in the NFL and be like, yeah, he's my guy. We're going to go get him. They traded a fucking 7th rounder for him. This was our QB room consists of
they traded a 6th rounder and they got a 7th rounder. It wasn't even a
swap. It was a swap 6 rounders. And yeah, you're right. And anyway, doesn't matter.
They couldn't even get it. Like the Jets couldn't offload him for just a straight up 6th round pick.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. And he was the 2nd overall pick.
And they're paying for half his salary.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good. It's a good deal.
Great deal. And again, look at what the Broncos quarterback room before that trade was. Ready for this? Jared Stidham and Ben DiNucci. That was the room. They did not have quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They gave away nothing to get Zach Wilson. That meant nothing for the draft. They were clearly going to get Bo Nix.
and
You
just
just
getting
need to
depth.
have somebody with starting experience in
And
that room.
well, here's the thing: is like if you're a Bronco fan and you know, like you've got Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert in the division right now, they're not win now. Broncos are not win now. They can't be like they don't have the roster construction. They're just not going to be win now.
No,
You look at a guy like Zach Wilson who has a lot of knowledge about the game. He may not be able to do it, but like if Bo Nix goes in there and starts taking lumps, or like they want to take him out, or they want Bo Nix to sit for half a year or whatever, like you're like, oh great, Zach Wilson, cool, whatever. But like in the not win now world, you go, okay, there's developing Bo Nix and getting him ready for this.
Yep.
Like whatever, I'm okay with Zach Wilson out there. Like if Bo Nix were to have a minor injury and Zach Wilson goes out there, sure, whatever. Like he's not going to be good, but like no backup quarterback you want in. You don't want any backup quarterback in the
no.
game.
If you're back
He'll
up,
be
in,
fine.
it's not going the way you want.
Yeah, so like I'm not like Zach Wilson's not my worry at that point. It's
And
just
again,
that we
they
have a
can-
backup quarterback in.
Right. And again, if he wasn't the number 2 overall pick 3 years ago and very famously terrible at it, and also a cougar hunter,
That's made him a
like
legend.
no, this wouldn't have even made news, right? Like with the
Yeah.
level of quarterback that he is, like, okay, we traded for a backup quarterback. Cool.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. We traded for a backup quarterback. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They needed to do that because they didn't have one.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys. Real quick.
Okay.
Who is in the let's just go first round. In your idea of what it takes to translate to the NFL, who is going to be the biggest bust? Who is going to be the biggest steal? Steal or like biggest superstar? Let's say superstar coming out of this.
Biggest bust is Caleb Williams. I think I don't see it with him.
Okay.
And number 1 pick has the biggest bust potential, right?
Totally.
So, I think it's Caleb Williams. The budding star that's gonna it's tough, right? Because like the Chargers picking Joe Alt was maybe the best pick of the first round.
Oh, it absolutely was.
But I don't know that I can ever say a left tackle is going to be like a star, right? Like he's
I don't
just
know.
going to
Would
be
you say
the
that about Penei Sewell?
He's going to be the starting left tackle for the Chargers for the next decade. So I think that's a huge win. Like if you're looking for what's the most surefire win in the first round, I think it's Joe Alt at 5.
Fair.
Now, like biggest superstar, so you're talking like skill positions most likely in that case, or an edge rusher or something like that that's gets the stats. I'm going to be a total homer and just say Bo Nix is going to go win 5 Super Bowls and
We love that.
be the best second best quarterback.
Love that.
Yep.
I think so. Here's my. I don't know if it's a hot take actually. I think Rome Odunze is going to bust, and I like Rome Odunze. We know that because I couldn't hate him at Washington. But the more and more I look at what he's good at, the more and more I don't think it translates to the NFL. He's really good at contested catching. In college, if you're not getting the separation to have, he had the most contested catches of the year. That to me tells me he's not getting a ton of separation. Either that or Penix Jr. is throwing behind him, which could be the case here. So I'm caveating it a little bit, like it could have been Penix Jr. But when I see lots of contested catches, because like who was a couple years back, N'Keal Harry was like the number 1 contested catch guy, and he didn't translate at all. I just don't know if he's going to get the separation because we know he's not fast, right? He's not super fast. So
I can see that. And,
so
and
I'm going
my
to go
my bust is throwing to your bust. So
I know. Look at us. Maybe we'll both be right. And then I think Malik Neighbors is going to be like the toast of the class.
That's a good pick.
I think he's gonna be the one that people look back on and go, how the fuck did he fall to 6?
We know how he fell to 6 because Marvin Harrison was always going to be the number 1 wide receiver, no doubt about it. And
I mean, Marvin Harrison is like a generational wide receiver, but I think out of the class, I think he'll probably have the better career.
all depends on who's throwing to him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like that, like it's real. dependent positions are tough,
Yeah.
and wide receivers, arguably the most dependent position.
Yeah. Do you think one of the reasons that there were 6 QBs taken in the first round, do you think the QB draft class next year is that bad? Do you
Oh,
think
it's
NFL
bad.
scouts are looking at this next draft class going, we need to get our guy this year?
Yeah.
Because like I here's the thing, I like Shadur Sanders, but like if he's your number one off the board, he's raw. He's a raw talent guy. He's got a lot of upside. Don't get me wrong, a lot of upside. I think he
Oh,
could
you're not
be
going to
great.
get any argument.
Yeah, but like he is raw, so he'll need a
Raw,
lot of
and
work.
there's, as we'll talk about here in a minute, raw, and there's a lot of drama that comes along with
Yeah.
the
And like,
last
or
name
you take
there.
like the easy pick, which is like Carson Beck, who's a good player, but like if those two are your top two, that's a
Yikes.
rough year for quarterbacks.
And this was a good year for bona fide good year for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Right. It was. So anyway, crazy draft. I couldn't be more thrilled. I haven't been this happy about a Broncos draft maybe ever. So for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so hyped. Might actually go to training camp for the first time ever.
Really? I've been to training camp. I've been to Broncos
in
training
Oregon
camp.
garb. Yeah, no, I've never gone.
Oh.
I'll wear all the green. I'll wear the brightest green stuff out there, though,
He'll love it, dude.
because I'll probably get an autograph. Honestly,
Yeah, you would.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely the way that we're gonna go get autographs.
Yeah.
Cameron just
100%.
throws in the Wii. There we go. Whoop.
We have Jamie's
Weird
going.
guy.
Oh,
I'm
come on
going.
now. Yeah,
Okay.
I
like,
know,
yeah,
I know.
that was
Like,
that
bro,
was
pick me up
always
on the way.
case.
Let's go.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll go
I'm
get beers
literally
afterwards.
on
We'll
the
make a
way.
day of it.
yeah, exactly. Okay, let's move on to the greatest sport in the whole entire world. College
Football, baby.
Even helmet
we're
was
not-
just like, yes, we.
Exactly.
We'll
just bring an army out there.
Football back.
Oh, so bad.
guys.
So bad.
So
Now
bad.
it's just starting to get nice. So, as Cameron pointed out to me when I started saying this, she's like, I'd like to have some summer first. I said, okay,
Yeah.
that's valid. I want to golf and shit.
fair,
Okay,
fair.
we can have summer. But can we have like summer except for Saturdays can be fall?
I'd love that. That sounds like,
Like
a
every
fantastic
Saturday is
concept.
just fall football Saturday.
Fall football Saturday. We love that. Just every day. Actually.
Take a Bo Nix jersey. Hell, I'll send you mine. Yeah, send it away. I'll get a signature for you all day long. Send me a copy of NCAA 25 early.
Yeah, me too.
Make it 5 because we're gonna sell that last one to get more jerseys.
Yeah. Yeah. Torsten left me on red on Instagram. I was like, hey man, like just tell me. Like I know there's a lot of stuff coming out. Is it good, man? Is it worth me buying a console just for this game? Left me on red. Left me on red,
And
man.
he's also going to leave you unread in the comments.
Oh, I
section
know
right
he is.
now.
I know he is. That's why I'm calling him out here. So that on the record, it shows that like, here's the thing, Torsten. Now we have a paper trail saying that you didn't tell me this. Wink. Tell me.
That's good. All right, college football. We're going to get to our previews and stuff here probably soon because last year we only had. Yeah, I did. I told you I ain't telling you shit. It's a weak excuse there, Torsten.
Not telling me a thing. You can't even tell me if the game's good or not. So
Which scares me.
I'm scared, Torsten. I'm gonna go around our legions of listeners.
There's
I'm gonna tell
dozens
them
of us.
this game is bad. Apparently, according to Torsten, this game is just terrible. He hasn't said anything otherwise. He hasn't said anything to the contrary. This game sucks. So
He's not even
that's
in
on
the
you,
chat
Torsten.
anymore.
I think he just left.
He's like, I'm out.
Failed.
Bye.
Fuck you guys.
Why do I listen to this garbage?
All right, college football. We're not getting into our previews and stuff, although we're going to have to start that sooner than later because we have fucking 18 teams in the Big Ten that we have to preview.
Well, yeah, we're doing that, and we're also going to do light previews of
the
every
rest of
other-
the conferences.
Yeah, so we got to get
The rest
moving.
of the 3 conferences, there's fewer conferences now because the 2-pack preview is real short. Both those teams are going to be ass garbage.
Real
Done.
bad.
There's
Hot
your
booty.
preview.
There it is, the Pac-2 preview. Those teams suck.
Yeah.
And one of them is going to be in the playoff. Because they're
One
playing a
of
Mountain West
them-
schedule. One of them, they're going to win. One of them's going to win games, even though they shouldn't.
I don't think they're guaranteed a playoff spot.
Well, the Pack isn't, but like they're gonna. Here's the thing: they're gonna be booty hole. But like,
Oh,
well,
I
maybe
agree
Boise
with you.
State.
Here's the thing with the Mountain West, man. That conference cannibalizes itself because they're all kind of ass.
Yeah,
And if you look at the rosters of Oregon State and Washington State, like I don't want to get too far into our preview here, but like they're kind of a Mountain West team. And
They
so
are,
they're just going to be cannibalized by the rest of their people.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
They're bad, dude. It's real bad.
It's gonna be bad.
It's gonna be.
It's gonna be bad.
It's
Bad.
gonna be real bad. Let's talk about Oregon for a minute. This team, what Dan Lanning is doing in Eugene is, I don't even know how to put words to it. We haven't seen anything like the roster that's going to be on the field in the fall in Eugene.
No.
And that is saying something with some of the rosters that we've had in the last couple of
Yeah.
years. This roster is fucking stacked. Everybody that they lost in the recruiting cycle was 2 or 3 deep on the roster, and everybody they brought in is starter caliber.
Mhm.
Like almost every name. It is remarkable what he is doing right now. It
It's
is a
unbelievable.
masterclass in roster construction and development. And all these fuckheads out there like Aaron Fentress just throwing money bags out as an excuse as to why Oregon's getting good. If you look at any measurable NIL site, which I understand they are very unreliable and the statistics and actual figures are very hard to find, but by any metric that I have seen, Oregon doesn't even sniff what the top programs are spending on recruits.
Yeah.
What he is able to do with what appears to be the old school style natural recruiting is remarkable.
And the fact like his retention is there too. Like they've lost a couple guys, like Ben Roberts, like that sucks. Like that guy was a really nice depth piece for the Ducks. Like, you know, Cody DeCambra, that kind of sucks. But like outside of that, like you said, we're losing like 2-3 deep guys. You know, a couple guys who like you recognize their name, but like weren't necessarily big contributors. Like Chris Hudson, like obviously 2 years ago he was a stud, and then last year he just got lost in the depth chart. You know, he's 5'11". You know, he's not. You know, when you have Kyle fucking Casper out there who's 6'4" or whatever, like you're not. And just as fast, like you're not hitting that depth chart, man. Go find something else. So, yeah, just the recruiting has been unreal.
Yeah, I think like Dante Dowdle was a big hit at running back.
Yeah.
Because by
Yeah.
all measure. But the guys they replaced
But
him with
is he?
are arguably better.
I mean, you saw Jay Harris during the spree game. That dude's
Dude.
certified insane.
Yeah, like I said, anyone that you can point to that's like, man, that sucks. He went out and found one that just totally erases that feeling.
Yeah.
Or somebody's already on the roster that is like, oh, I see why we were okay with that.
Yep. It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
And the fact that he went, and we already talked about this, but he went out and got Dylan Gabriel, the best quarterback in the transfer portal. And then he got Dante Moore, the third best quarterback in the transfer portal. To
I thought he was
commit
second.
the same cycle, maybe in some.
I thought it was top 2.
Depends what site you were looking at, but
Yeah.
it's just, it's pretty incredible, really. It is remarkable.
I mean, it's really fun to watch as a fan of Oregon, because it's like people give Oregon fans shit because like, oh, it's our year or whatever. Like, But it's like every year the roster's getting better. So can you blame us? Like the roster gets
I
better
mean,
every single year.
yeah, and it really sucks. And I was talking to Eli about this a couple weeks ago, and I hadn't really looked at this yet. But if you looked at what was the Pac-12, right? So all the teams that are now departing or the two that remain, if you look at what those teams are, or even what, like, let's just say Oregon State didn't lose Jonathan Smith and they weren't losing the rest of the like they were still decent. Look at Oregon's roster compared to everybody else that was in that conference. Oregon would have sleptwalked into the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been a Clemson style ass kicking every week.
You're not
That's
wrong.
what it would have been.
Yeah.
Like, this team is just head and shoulders above every other team west of the Rockies.
Yeah, I mean, when your biggest question mark, the absolute biggest question mark right now is one, starting O-line, right? They've got the depth. Are the starters there, right? Are the starters where you want them to be? By all accounts, they are.
Yep.
Two, quarterback, which you've got three guys, I'm including Novosad on this, that are, for all accounts, doing incredible things. Like Gabriel is the starter, right? He's like basically he's got the reins. Yeah, he's the starter, and he looks it, right? Dante Moore looks great. Dante Moore looks miles better than he did anywhere at UCLA. But like Dylan Gabriel looks good. He's not as quick as Bo Nix was, but Bo Nix also had 2 years in the system. So it'll be interesting to see when your biggest question mark is having a really good quarterback still, like,
Here's the thing. This defense is going to be fucking nasty.
special.
Oh my God, they are going to be insane. And going into the Big Ten, that's what you need. That Big Ten is big boy football. West Coast was all flash. Like, we know the narratives, right? And by and large, like, they were probably overblown a little bit because you would see Big Ten Pac-12 matchups where the Pac-12 just punches them in the mouth. But
remember that Oregon, Ohio State.
Right. But that's when Oregon started to play that style of football for kind of the first time. That was a new thing. Big Ten is big boy football. That's what they do. All these teams, they are big, they run the football, and they are nasty on defense. That is what the Big Ten does. And Oregon's fully built to step into that and not only do well, excel.
Yeah.
It's going to this team is nasty, dude. I just can't wait to see the product on the field because my hopes are extremely high.
I'm really trying to rein it in a little bit because I like every time I see a move or a transfer or something coming to Oregon, I'm just like, well, one thing I'm like stressed. I'm like, at this point, like we're at probably 87 scholarships. We're gonna have to lose people who are great.
Oh yeah,
could be great.
No doubt. Only a couple at this point.
Only a couple.
Yeah,
but
I mean, and it's going to be guys that would legitimately start on just about any other roster in the country, but they're on this.
Well, it's like we were talking about last year. Like Oregon fans are just going to have to get used to losing good talent.
Yeah.
And
well,
every
team has to get used to that now because
it's
the fucking Wild West in college football. Here's a question, and we've gone down this doom and gloom path before with college football. Oregon and Colorado really have benefited from the way that college football is heading, right? We'll talk about Colorado in a minute, and it's definitely we're talking about two different tiers here. But are we losing a part of the sport that is fundamental to what it is, which is like falling in love with these guys as freshmen and sophomores, and they come in and they start to develop, and then juniors, they really start to shine. Then your senior class is like, these guys are legit, and we've grown with them over the last 4 years, and there's school pride and all this stuff that comes with that. We're losing that piece of this. These guys do not have any loyalty to the school. They don't care where they're going. They want to go play. And that's fine. I think they should do that. But I think we're just missing that. We're just missing something about what makes college football
So
great.
I somewhat agree with you on this. I do think we've lost some aspect of that, right? Of what you explained. I don't necessarily think like a lot of people blame like NIL. A lot of people blame transfer portal stuff like that. And maybe this is like a get off my lawn moment, but I really think that this was inevitable, truly with like just the rise of social media, right? The fact that if you just need playing time now, right? In order to go to if you're good, you just need playing time. Doesn't matter where anymore. It just doesn't matter where you play anymore as long as you're playing, right? It used to be that like if you were at Alabama, you got a way better look than if you were at Western Michigan, right? And now if you're a stud at Western Michigan, people are going to find out and they're going to watch and
Well,
they're going to see you.
And then you're also going to be a stud at Western Michigan 1 year, and then you're going to transfer to Alabama.
Yeah.
And show that you can also do it at that level.
But like what I'm saying is even without the transfer portal, like you would play at West, like just if you were at Alabama, you know, oh, I'm never going to play. So why would I get on the field for this? But I can go dominate at Western Michigan and some team might take a chance on me. And so I really feel like it's more so the fact that exposure is so high rather than that you can transfer to go play, you can get NIL deals. Like obviously it's compounding, like they're not, mutually exclusive, but I really feel like the rise of like the social media and the exposure is really what is going to be taking the heart out of what this is rather than like those two other things. I just, it's like all they need to do now is play. They need to get the film. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of pieces to this. And I think social media is a piece of it. The transfer portal is a big piece of it. And NIL is a piece of it. And really at the center of it is an organization that just like the NCAA had such a stranglehold on all of this for so long. They just held it so fucking tight and wouldn't give anything that they were so strict that they just had to totally break the chains off. And now it's just the fucking Wild West. If they had done what their entire job is from the beginning, which is to take care of the student athletes and make sure that the continuity of the sport continues and everything that the NCAA should have been fucking doing, we wouldn't be here. Because they would have slowly rolled this stuff out over time, starting in like 2000. This wouldn't have been a 10-year legal battle about whether student athletes should get fucking paid or not. Of course they should get paid. What are we talking about? Like, this is a ridiculous argument, and the stance that they chose to take on it is insanity. And it just led to a court ruling that broke the chains loose all at once, and now it's just we're stuck trying to pick up the pieces, and it's like the sport is still great. College football is amazing. The pageantry is still there. The playoffs were incredible like everything about it has been great, but there's parts of it that are disappearing, and it just hurts because it's such a different sport in the way that it is, the way fan bases act and the way that it is viewed, and we're losing a part of that, and that sucks.
Yeah, I agree. I think this all stems from NCAA incompetence. Right.
No doubt. I mean, there's just no doubt about
to forecast the landscape of college football out more than a year, it seems like in a lot of cases. So, yeah, I mean, it's sad. But like at the same time, like we very well could be entering a golden age of college football too.
If they play the cards right, like some of this needs to be reined back in. This whole thing where people can just transfer in and out whenever the fuck they want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is madhouse. How are you supposed, like, a casual fan, right? Like me and you, I get the ticker news. Like I am on it when it comes to Oregon football. So I get this. Any casual football fan is going to look at the field on Saturday in the fall and be like, "Who the fuck are these guys?"
Yeah.
And that's not good for the sport. Again, us hardcore guys that are here for the long run, we're going to watch no matter what. We're going to follow. We know who these guys are. We read the articles. We keep up on it. Casual fans won't. And that's where the passion and all of that stuff is just going to take a little tick back.
Mm-hmm.
And that part, that scares me a little bit. But it can be fixed. Like none of this is like, oh, the nuke's gone off, we're toast. Like none of that. That's not the case.
Yeah, this isn't 1 second after.
It can be fixed. But what a good book, by the way.
All right.
But yeah, I just like, the good news for us, Dan Lanning is a fucking masterclass at how to handle this chaos.
Yeah.
He has figured it out.
Well, and then truly on the other end of that, Dion has learned how to deal with it, right? He's doing it his own way, which is Dion doing it his own, anything done his own way. But like he is taking a totally different approach than Dan Lanning is at this chaos, and he's figuring it out. Well, I mean, we'll to be seen if he's figured it out.
And he's also putting his foot in his mouth a lot, but he's Dion fucking, like, we'll get to Dion this now, right? Like, and like all the Dion and the Sanders drama last week, like if that took anybody by surprise, you're just not paying attention.
No.
He's a loudmouth. They're all very confident and outspoken. Like that's what that family is.
Yeah.
So if you're surprised by any of this, or you're surprised that they're going to clap back at somebody, then you're just not watching, because that's what they do. And if
you just want to go into the Deion Sanders stuff right now,
sure, we can go into it. And if you don't think that was also not calculated, like you're just mistaken. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So into the Dion stuff. Dion's been in hot water the last week. There was an Athletic article that came out, an article in The Athletic, publication that came out, that interviewed a bunch of the Colorado transfers, and quote unquote exposed Dion and the Colorado program for how they were treated on the way out and all this stuff. And Dion got on Twitter, and Shiloh and Shedeur and Dion Jr. got on Twitter, and they were clapping back at the guys that spoke out in this article, talking about how they're trash and don't even know who you were. You must have been mid at best. Oh my God, Georgiev just made like the most amazing fucking save in overtime. Holy shit. Woo! Sorry. Dion clapped back. There was a bunch of backlash from it. It's now died down. Like, this is just a non-thing. But as a Colorado fan, like, this is what you get with Deion Sanders. If you, like, none of this is a surprise.
Yeah.
All.
My whole thing about this is like, I love shit talking. It's great. I'm not against them clapping back at these guys with like 7 followers who are like tweeting at them and shit. I'm not against them coming out against their former teammate. Is it a good look? No.
It's a horrible look.
Bad fucking look.
It's really bad look.
And people are talking about how for Shedeur coming out and saying that shit about his former teammates, like they're saying like this could hurt his draft stock because it could, in GM's minds, reflect how he views his teammates, which could be valid. We don't know, right? Like I like Shedeur. I like Shedeur a hell of a lot more than I like his dad. I am not personally, I don't like Deion Sanders. Like I think he was the right hire for Colorado. I don't like him. He annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But like this could be indicative of how he treats his teammates. And like, so is it a good look? No, it's a horrible look. But like also like it's fun. It's fun to see him like shit talk these people. And like and the good news is, you know, if you don't like it, this team still has to prove it in the fall. right?
yeah,
Like the
100%.
fact of the matter is they're talking a lot of game and they were 4-8 last year. And like we don't know what they're going to look like this year. I think they're going to be improved, but like we don't know that. They could go, if they go 4-8 again, you best believe these guys' Twitter are going to be blowing the shit up. And so they to their credit, they're going to have to eat a lot of crow if they fuck this up.
Oh yeah, big time.
So like
To
they're putting
Dion's
themselves out there.
credit, he did that a lot last fall.
Oh
And
yeah, I mean,
he sat up there and took the questions, and he didn't shy away from it, because there's a lot of guys that are as confident as Dion are, that like LeBron James, for example,
yeah,
that just sit up and whine and cry and make excuses. And Dion didn't do that at all. I also like, I don't love what Dion does. I get the game and I get
Yeah.
what he's doing, and I agree with you. It's what Colorado needs. Do I cringe every time I fucking see it? Absolutely, I do. It is
Yeah.
cringy as fuck. And I think he's largely pretty fake. But it doesn't, like, I can look past that. I'm a Colorado fan. I'm like, this team needed something to get anything. Like, they
Yeah.
were literally in the depths of college football, about to be irrelevant forever. And sometimes what is it? PT Barnum, no publicity is bad publicity.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just like, Colorado's got to be in the headlines, and they're making fucking headlines. So I'm good with it as a Colorado fan. I'm with you. I'm not the biggest Dion supporter out there. Do I love that he's at CU right now and think that this is still the right thing for this football team? 100% I do.
Yeah. Here's the thing, man. I think like for the football team, maybe, and this is yet to be proven. We don't know yet. Maybe the best thing is that he gets all this stuff and then he moves on next year after his kids go, and they get another gangbuster hire that's like a really good on-field coach.
Good coach.
Yeah, like a truly good coach. And like who also maybe has a little bit of juice to him, like just to carry on the Dion stuff. Like that might be the right thing. Because I like personally, we'll talk about that when we get the Colorado preview. It really feels to me like this might be Dion's last year in Colorado, but who knows?
I mean, everything he's saying is contrary to that. Like, here's the thing: is like, where's he going to go? So, I mean, Dion doesn't have to have a job. Dion could retire tomorrow. He has plenty of fucking money. He doesn't need to work. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy to me that is just going to sit around.
No.
And so I do think, and I'll take him at his word, I think he'll stick around next year. Do I think he's here for 10 years? No, I absolutely do not. I don't see that in any universe. I think he could stick around for a year or two after Shedeur. I also think that when Shedeur and Shiloh leave, that might be the best thing for him as a coach.
True.
Because
he won't be able to hide behind his son's talent.
He needs to look past just taking care of his own, and he's actually got to do it for the first time.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to bail. We're hooked to the Dion train, whether we like it or not. And I still think it's good. We'll get to a Colorado preview at some point. It'll be briefer than the Big Ten stuff, but either way, like the Dion stuff, like that's what you're going to get with Dion. If anybody's like, how could you deal with this? Like, you knew what you saw. Everybody knew what this was going to be.
It's like one of those things, though. You look at it and you just go, dude, you got more important shit to do. You got to turn around a football team still. You did you almost did it last year with something. Yeah.
That's the hardest part for me is
especially when he came out and said that he did it because he was bored. It's like, how the fuck are you bored right now, man?
Be bored right now. You're in the
middle.
You cannot
be bored.
Yeah, you're not allowed to be bored. And I know he delegates like the best of them to his assistants, but like you should be paying more attention.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like there's a lot of stuff, and like Drummer Duck said, would be great to see him tweet from a recruit's living room. He doesn't do recruiting visits.
Yeah.
Never has, never will. Again, this is a totally different, he's a different guy, and he's the only guy that can do it that way.
Yep.
So this is not like a model for anybody to follow. It's just, you got, again, as a Colorado fan, You just have to take the good with the bad, and it is what it is with it right now.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. What else you want to talk about in college football?
I don't know, man. We're we're like at the point where we needed to start doing previews. So I feel like that's kind of the next step.
That's
huh?
the
We don't
next
want to do
step.
that.
We'll start getting into previews. We'll probably do a couple. We'll probably do it a little more broad than we did last year. Last year we did 2 teams per episode in the Pac-12. We'll probably do 3 or 4 in the Big Ten, and it'll be a lot more parsed down.
No, we'll probably just do like episodes on the other.
Yeah, we'll do an SEC episode. We'll do a Big 12 episode. We'll do an ACC episode. We will not do a Pac-12 episode, Pac-2 episode.
Yeah, we'll just throw them in with the Mountain West preview.
Yeah, we're not doing a Mountain West preview either. Yeah, we'll throw them in with the Mountain West preview that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then that'll be that. It's already May. We've only got a couple months, and then it's football season.
Here we go, baby.
Here we go. Eli, it's been 2 months since you've been here. I'm giving you the buzzer beater. Listener, viewer, thank you for hanging out with us today. We love you guys. Happy to be back on the airwaves with our dulcet tones blessing your ears. Cameron, thanks for hanging out with us as always.
Always. Yeah. Happy to be here.
Say bye, Cameron.
Bye, Cameron.
Thank you to Zeta June for letting us use your music in our outro. Go check them out on Spotify or wherever you catch your music. Until next time, which is hopefully next week, Eli, please take us away.
My buzzer beater this week feels so goddamn good to be back, boys.
Deuces.